What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Alyssa JTV. If you don't know me, I'm Alyssa, and today I have a story time for you. And it is a very, very old story time. This video was filmed back in 2018, I believe, if I'm counting the dates correctly. I think this took place like over a month or two after it happened, and it was like August, I think, or a month after, like somewhere in that time span. I don't fully remember the time. I think I said it in the video. I don't remember. So this video was about when I got broken up with, and I didn't want to post this, but a date's coming up this week, and the date that's coming up was supposed to be me and this boy's 1 year anniversary. If me and him would have stayed together, nothing would have happened, that it would still be fine. We would have been dating for 1 year. And it's coming up this weekend, and I honestly didn't care about it because, like, I'm obviously over the breakup. I don't want to get back together with him. I don't moan over him. I bring him up sometimes when people ask if I when was my last breakup, but like I don't like want him back badly. I really don't. Some people say I do. Say what you want. I really don't. I'm interested in other people, and I've kind of had like interest in other people. So I obviously don't like him anymore. But I remembered this week, like as like this week is ending, like that I filmed this video where I was like going, like I was angry and about the entire situation, and it was a video about him, this other girl, two of my friends that sent me stuff about him, and I filmed this video, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I still have this. So I didn't edit it at all. So all the mess ups, all like the bloopers, I guess you could say, that you don't see in YouTubers' videos were still there. It looked very different because I at the time of me doing that, I didn't have my lights. I didn't have a script. I didn't write any of it out. I just sat in front of my camera and just talked. I didn't have a script like I do for my story times. I just sat there and like talked to my camera like it was myself. So it'd be like an emotional time capsule for me, I guess you could say, where I was just thought I could like talk to myself about the situation and what happened to like make myself feel better, because I didn't talk to anyone really about it afterwards. Like, yeah, people knew that we broke up, but I didn't like tell people, and I thought about posting it, but then as I talked about it more and all the messages I had, there's a blooper. I don't know if I'll put it in at like the end to like do something to be funny, but like I said, like I think I'm not gonna post this because of like how bad this is, and it's embarrassing because all the stuff that happened in it is true, and literally editing it is so bad. So I want to say now, the editing will seem jumpy and will seem incomplete and like that I cut myself off. It's because of the mess ups that there are in it, and because I didn't think I was going to edit it or post it. So if I was going to edit it and post it, if I had intention to, I would have scripted it out like most YouTubers do with their story times. And it would look so much different, be so much better, and if I was filming this video now, it would be completely different, but my feelings wouldn't be the same. So there's that, I guess you could look forward to, I guess. And how I was at the time of filming that was, I was still hurt. I still missed him, but not as a partner. I missed him as a friend, and I guess I still kind of do. I'm still friends with the other boy that's in this story that I've been friends with. I'm still friends with him. We don't talk that much still, but we talk enough that he's not bothered that the fact that just because me and my ex don't talk anymore doesn't mean that we have to stop talking. I think he got influenced from some of it, but like I don't want him to, But like, I don't want it to be like that we can't hang out just because I'm not friends or dating your friend anymore. Like, our friendship shouldn't be ruined just because of that. That's completely stupid and ignorant. But rewatching this video is just so weird because I didn't think I was gonna post it, and I even said it a couple times in the video. That like, I don't think I'm gonna post this. If I do, blah. But like, I don't think I'm gonna post it, and now I am because I posted it for a couple reasons. One, because I feel like it's a good learning lesson. I've said this in the video. I feel like it's a good learning lesson because of how emotionally hurt I was in the relationship, how I felt lied to, betrayed, all that. So I feel like it's a good learning lesson that it might be like, you guys might be like, if any of you are dating and you're in a similar situation, it might be like a light bulb, and like learn from how stupid and ignorant I was. I was blinded from being his friend for so long that I thought he would never lie to me and that I knew a lot about him when really I didn't. And it backstabbed me very hard. And I'm still friends with his mom and his dad, so that's kind of awkward. They say they miss me, and I say I miss them too. But I just don't, and I just don't feel like it's good for me to go over there again, even though I want to see him and see his parents, because they're so awesome and I love them so much. And I text them on holidays, this last year I said Merry Christmas. A month ago was Easter, so I said Happy Easter to them. So we still say some things, but it's not a lot. And we agreed, like I said in the video, we agreed that if we broke up, we would still be friends and nothing would change. We would treat each other the same, and I guess he didn't feel the same way because we haven't talked in so long. And if he watches this, then I don't know what to say, because this is just my perspective of the story. Maybe you'll understand some things about it, because I was never completely honest, which I think was the problem. We never communicated with stuff like that, and every time I did, it was just a nightmare. And I say all this in the video. I'm just introing this to you to like warn you that the editing's bad. It may seem a little jumpy, but I really hope you guys enjoy this video, because it's bad in my opinion. And I might jump in at times to like explain it to you, and I will be coming at the end to do the outro. So I hope this video isn't me though, really. Looking back on that video, I literally snooped basically on his phone. Like, I bring it up later. I didn't like snoop. He like left the room and he left his phone open, and I looked at it, and that's how I found out that he lied to me about something else. And that's not who I am. I would never ever look on a guy's phone, like mostly for privacy, because like it's their phone. They don't search through my phone. But I just couldn't. He just pushed me to the point where I felt like he was lying to me after things that have happened before, where something didn't seem right, and all the things he was telling me didn't make sense. That I looked on his phone because he left his tab open, and it was just heartbreaking and sad. I explain more of that in the video, but I hope you guys like learn that you shouldn't let people like influence you. Like, don't let your boyfriend or girlfriend's friends like influence you or attack you because if they don't know you, and attack your friends. Like, that's really the reason I'm really making this. I hold stuff against him because of the way he handles it and everything, but I also hold stuff against her too, because she shouldn't have acted that way, and she shouldn't have said those things. I wish I had the messages, because if she sees this video and if he sees this video, they're going to say none of that ever happened. She never said that, and she's going to say I never said that. I wish me and my friend still had those messages for proof. So I guess it's our word against theirs. But as long as we know the truth and what happened, and they know the truth, that's all that matters to me. I'm just putting this out there for you guys, for people that need help, and because I feel like it'll be great to post for like a lesson, and What else do I need to remind me on the day that I'm going to be posting it about what was supposed to be our 1 year anniversary? So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys at the end. And this is how old this video is. As I say, like, back when I was double dosed. Now I'm Melissa JTV, but this was back when I was double dosed because of how old this video is and how long we were and how old we were together for. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you after the video. Hey guys! Around like a week after I decided that me and my ex were never going to talk again, I wanted to make this video because the level of things that happened during and after our relationship were just crazy, and a lot of people can learn from this. But at the time, two things stopped me from making this video. One, somehow I know that the girl involved is gonna try to find me and shut me down and add more lies into the mix because she thinks she can do whatever the hell she wants. And I don't want to deal with her whatsoever after what I was told and what I have seen. And two, I may not talk to my ex anymore and think he's a douchebag because of the way he handled things and how he acted, but I do wish him the best, and because I don't fully think it's his fault. I think he was like a puppet in a word, but we will get to that later. But why I'm making this video now is because what I found out long after this happened involving another one of my friends just made me really mad. And I know that she can take care of herself and defend herself, but on the FaceTime call where I found this out, words were said. And second, I found out through some of his friends that are my friends as well, two in particular, that he's been telling lies about me. So I feel like this video is a fair game to post. And hey, my favorite part of making videos is that I can monetize all of my pain and stress. Now, before I fully get into the story, I know people are gonna want to know who he is, and I will not say for privacy reasons, but I have not showed this boy's face in a video. I have not breathed his name on camera, and he has social media, but he never really uses it. He actually deletes stuff quite a lot, and it's very hard to find. I thought I deleted the text message thread that I'm going to be showing in this video to prove a point, and it was actually hard to find, and because he deleted a couple pictures before, and so I know he deletes them all, and when we were dating, he deleted a lot of photos. So don't even bother trying to find it. You're wasting your time. So there's that. And if you guys do end up finding him and her social media, I do not condone any hate or anything. I am just simply telling a story that I've held onto for a while, and what people do is on their own accord, and I am not responsible whatsoever. Now that we got that out of the way, let us get started into the crazy mess. Now for this story, we are going to call him Gene. Now, I met Gene back when I was in 6th grade and he was in 7th. We became best friends because his best friend, who I hated for a while, became my best friend. He introduced me to him after a while, and we got really close, and we will name this guy Rio. Now, this isn't where things happen, but it's important to have a background to how this situation came about. Me, Rio, and Gene always hung out during our gym period because even though that me and Rio were in 6th grade and he was in 7th, the way our school was with gym is that all grades would be together just in separate classes. Now, here's some background on me and how I was at the time of being in 6th grade at the beginning, because we became friends in like the first 3 to 4 weeks of school. I was shy going into middle school. I know, shocker, right? But no, I wasn't like overly shy, but I was shy enough that if you went up to somebody who I've talked to before, or someone who kind of knows me from a class, and you told them my name, they would be like, "Who's that?" I just really kept to myself and didn't really talk to anybody till I got used to being there. Rio and I weren't even friends even at first, so I felt really weird being around him for a while, but I obviously got used to it. So I ended up falling for this guy twice, and nothing really happened the first time I fell for him, so I'm going to fast forward to my 7th grade year where me and Rio were in 7th grade, and Gene was in 8th grade. Now, at this point of me and Rio being our 7th grade year and Gene being his 8th, me and Rio like slowly stopped talking and hanging out. And it was just me and Gene hanging out when he wasn't hanging out with Rio. And Gene was fully aware that I felt like this because I asked him what's up with Rio, and he said he didn't know. And after a while, Gene said, well, I guess that's more time for us. And by the way, quick side note, me and Rio still talk. We don't talk as much as we did before, like back in 6th grade, but we talk a lot more than we did in our 7th grade year. So Rio, if you're watching this, you know who you are. Hi. Anyway, as time went on, me and Gene hung out more and more, and me and him got really close. And I never felt like this with anyone before. Now, here's a little fun fact about me, and that's why I say that. I have this thing with people, and it's with everyone, so it's not with a few people. I'm with this with all of my friends, including my parents, so it's nothing new. I can't tell people when I have problems and I'm upset. I just can't. Whenever I feel upset and all that, I just can't tell people because I don't like the attention that it brings. I usually am good at hiding it from people, but sometimes they'll be pestering me enough that I'll just tell them so they'll shut up. And then they give me their condolences, like saying like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for you. I hope you feel better. We're here if you need to talk. I just don't like that attention. I really don't. It just really bothers me, and I don't know why. It's one of the main reasons that I don't tell my parents stuff about me. Like, I know people, like kids won't tell their parents stuff because, like, you don't understand me. You'll never understand what I'm going through. Blah, 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 blah. But no, mine's just because I have this inkling in my brain or bone in my body that just hates negative attention. I just hate it. I don't know why. But with Gene, I don't feel like that. Like back in in 6th grade when Hurricane Matthew hit, for all of you guys that remember that, I went through a really, really bad breakup that it took me forever to get over, and it hit me so hard. And going back to school, I was miserable, and it was very hard to hide how I was because a lot of my friends and even people that didn't like me knew who he was because he was quite popular at the middle school he went to because we didn't go to the same middle school. So everyone like bullied me for it. Everyone like knew about us breaking up because of what happened with him and me. It was just really really hard to hide, and I didn't like the attention that it got. It was just really awful. But Gene didn't know me that well at that time to know exactly what was happening, and he didn't know the boy in the first place. So he didn't know how I was until he saw me later that day as I was walking to class. He caught up to me and said, hey, and I said, hey back, but I quickly hid because I just finished crying earlier. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But I just finished crying earlier, and my cheeks were still red and my eyes were still red, so you could tell that I was crying, so I tried to avoid him. And he kept bugging me, asking me, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I know you were crying. I see the way your eyes are. Tell me what's wrong. So then I ended up telling him what happened, and I was expecting to feel what I always feel. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. I don't want to feel this way. I already feel really bad. But he just hugged me and said that he's there for me and that I'll get over it, and making me feel really good. And walking away as we split off, I didn't walk away feeling bad. I didn't walk away feeling like with the negative attention. I felt better. Still bad, but like I felt a lot better than I did. And that's the moment I knew that this boy was going to be my best friend at least until middle to the end of high school. And spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So let us continue on with the story. So at this point, we've been best friends for like 3 years now, and I've never felt this close with a person since my last relationship. And this was towards the end of my 7th grade year, so I was well and over it at this point. We started hanging out a lot more, and I started developing feelings for him. And it was after a basketball game. We went with 2 of his friends, and I don't know, I just really liked being around him. And even though we aren't together anymore, I'm not gonna lie, he's still cute. I mean, I did date the guy for 3 months, but that's not important. So as time went on, I started really, really liking him. And the more we did together, the more I fell for him. And this and we had this little group that we hung out with in the morning, mostly his friends, but there are 2 friends that they know who they are if they're watching this, that I knew and hung out with in elementary school. So it wasn't that bad. And eventually 2 of his friends found out that I had feelings for him, and I made them swear to me that they would not say a flippin' word to Gene about it. And they agreed to my face, and then they told Gene, and the bad part is he's in 8th grade and I'm in 7th grade, so I don't even have time to stop them, but oh, they did pay for it later. I was really, really mad at them because one of 3 things happens when I like a guy, and I also noticed that it really started to happen when I made this channel, but I could care less about that. 1, they say they don't have the same feelings for me, but they still want to be friends. Then they slowly stop talking to me and then avoid me altogether. 2, they make their friends tell me that they're not interested and then avoid me altogether. Or 3, they just avoid me altogether. And yes, I have experienced all 3 of those choices. And this is why I have low self-esteem. Anyways, it really made me mad, very mad, because I felt something with this boy, and even if we didn't date, he was someone I saw myself being friends with at least until high school. So I'm thinking that, well, there goes another friend, I'm never going to see him again, I'm going to kill his friends for this, but he still talked to me and acted completely normal and didn't even mention me liking him at first, and I was like, what is happening? This has never happened to me before. Does he even know that I liked him? Did his friends just mess with me to make me mad? Like, I was just overall confused in that sense. Then as time went on, our text messages went from normal to flirty. Like, he would text me sweeter things like, you're cute, I like being around you, I wish time would go faster so I can see you. And I was like, does he like me? So we continue flirting back and forth with each other for maybe a month or 2, and you're probably thinking, hey, you both liked each other, then why didn't you just ask him out yourself? And to answer that, I found out from 3 of his friends that he was planning on asking me out at our end of the year dance that our school was having. And if I didn't know that information, I would have manned up and asked him out myself, because I don't believe that the man should be the first one to ask him out. I do believe that they can, but women can do it too, so it didn't really matter. So if I didn't know that information, I would have asked him out myself, and he would either say yes or say that he was planning on doing it, and I stole his thunder. So I didn't want to steal his thunder, so I just waited until the dance, which was, I believe, a month later, if I'm getting this timeline correct. So the dance comes, he's dressed all handsome and cute, and I'm in a dress, and I hated to wear a dress because I don't like them. But I wore it for him, and it was kind of cute, so come on, sue me. And then after the dance, after the entire dance of him not saying a word about a relationship, but we already acted like we were a couple anyway, towards the end of the dance, he asked me out, and I said yes, and we began dating on May 11th. Now, from the second that we started dating till the very end, I noticed a change in Gene. We both agreed that nothing would really change except for a title because we already acted like a couple. And we're very close, but he changed a bit. And I thought it was just because he hasn't been in a relationship for a while, and that it was kind of new to him, I guess. And he told me that was why he was acting a little bit weird. But now looking back on it as we are apart, I have no idea what it was. So here's where the girl comes in. And for this story, we are going to call her Ivy. Now, let me just say right before we get into her, because there's so much stuff about this girl that I do not know Ivy. I have no connection to her. I don't know her that well. She could be a perfect little peach, though after all the instances I've had with her, I don't believe that whatsoever. I just don't like her because of the experiences I've had with her firsthand, and because of how she's treated my friends. And let me just say this for people. You can mess with me and bully me and say all the lies about me you want, but once you bring my friends into it that have nothing to do with what's going on between us, there's going to be a problem. You don't bring people into it that are either just asking about something because they want to help someone, or just bring them out of willy-nilly because you want to get me or someone else riled up, because I know there's a lot more people out there that's like that. So yeah, so let us get into where Ivy comes into this. And I would like to point out that Gene is not completely innocent either. He obviously, but I feel he was a puppet in her sense, because let's be honest, he would do anything for her. Like, I think that's the whole reason we broke up in the first place, but we'll get to that later with what happened with my friend and her. And she could come forward about this if she wants to. My friend, I'm changing her name in the story for her privacy and because I don't want Ivy to come after her. But she knows who she is. At least we know it's the truth. If she wants to go ahead, if Ivy wants to go ahead and tell lies, if Gene wants to come out and say something, all of us, the four of us, and a couple more people that are involved on his side and on my side, we all know the truth. So if I do decide to post this video, I don't know if I'm going to, but if I do decide and you guys want to say something, if you lie, we all know the truth, and you'll have to sleep with that guilt every night that you told a lie and made people believe you when you could have told the truth and made it a lot easier on yourselves. Now that I have vented after that, we are going to get into this. So 2 weeks of us go by dating, and he was so awesome and amazing. He told me the things I wanted to hear. Gave me so much attention. He was incredibly sweet. And honestly, we were having a nice, good relationship so far. Until she entered the picture. I already knew about Ivy because he told me about her a little after we got closer, back when we were still friends at the beginning of our friendship. And he said that he wanted us to meet, and that we would get, and that he believes that we would get along quite well. And I'm actually still glad to this day that I never met her, because if I did have her contact information, I would have said something to her a long time ago. Back when the first problem arose with her. And if I had her information after, what happens next? There would have been a big problem with all of us. And I thought it was okay at first that he wanted us to get along because they've been friends for years. But the more we dated, the more he kept bringing her up. And one time he, after school, walks me to my bus, because my bus always comes before his, and it's on his way to where he's going, and it's kind of cute that he walks me to my bus. So as we're standing there and we're talking, he brings her up, and I just ask out of curiosity if they've ever dated before, because he keeps bringing her up a lot more than he did before. And he says to me, without hesitation, not even a second thought in his head, says, "No, but I wanted to. She's really cute." And I was like, I cannot believe that he just said that. And what I mean by that is, he was so straightforward about it, knowing that he's in a relationship with another girl. And all I said was, "Oh, okay." But I guess when I said that, I cut him off, because he quickly followed after that. I asked her out before I did you, and still really like her. I was upset when she said no. Now, what I should have said is something like, "F you, please get your arm off of me, we are done." But instead, I said, like an idiot, "Oh, well, okay." Like, how can you say that to the person that you're dating now and expect them to be okay with it? Who says that to their current girlfriend or boyfriend? So at this point, I really don't like Ivy, but I never interfered with them being friends, because I don't want to be one of those girlfriends who's like, "I'm the only girl that you can be with. I don't want you to be with any other girls." Like, scroll through his phones and like say, "Oh, you were texting this girl," like blah, 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 blah. And I never discouraged them from being friends, because they've known each other since they were little kids. And I don't want to be the bad guy, which is a bad mentality to have. If you are in a relationship, please talk to the girl or guy that you're dating and fix that if you feel that way and are uncomfortable or just want to get your feelings out there towards your person. And if they end up leaving you, then it's their loss. They ain't worth your time. If they can't listen to you about a simple little problem, how do you expect them to deal with a bigger problem, which did happen later? And at this point, it is very important. So please keep this in your mind about that. So then school ends and summer hits, and this is where the story really kicks off. So buckle up, you're in for a big ride. So the first date that we plan is for our 1 month anniversary. We go to Hangar 15, and then we go for a lunch afterwards. We are there with 2 other people, his brother and his brother's friend. And we start talking, and I start talking to his friend, and we will name him Ricky, who I actually used to be friends with him back in 6th grade. I met him at my bus stop, and it was really nice seeing him again since he went off to high school, and I met him on my first day before I even got to the school. Literally, as my mom was driving me up to the bus stop, he was sitting there, and we started talking and became friends really quickly. And he starts asking me questions about me and Jean's relationship. And it's just casual questions. And then I honestly forgot how it happened, but Ivy got brought up into the conversation. It was nothing bad at the time. He was just telling me how he really likes her and wants her to notice him and stuff like that. And then as he was telling me about her, I asked, hey, has Jean ever said anything about her, like, relationship-wise? And he said, yeah, all the time. They are very close. And I said, oh, so do you think they would date now? And he said, yeah, but he tells me all the time of how much he loves you. And then he showed me a text message on his phone of that they were talking about me, and I thought it was really sweet. So I thought everything was fine until more dates happened. As we continued to go through our dates, I noticed something. Whenever we would be at his house hanging out, he would always be on his phone. Like, if we used to go into his pool a lot, and he would obviously, like, spend the time with me, and we would be in the pool and he wouldn't have his phone. But if we were, like, on his couch or in his room, he would always, without a doubt, be on his phone. And granted, I was on my phone too, but it was because we were sitting on his bed watching YouTube videos, and we didn't want his mom, dad, or brother to walk in and assume things when we were just sitting there watching YouTube. But sometimes as we were talking and stuff, he would always constantly check his phone in the middle of our conversation. Checking the time is one thing. Answering a text or texting someone first is a completely different thing. And that was another thing I noticed too. Every time my mom would text me, okay, I'll pick you up at this time, I would tell him. And he would always occasionally look at the clock to see the time, almost like he wanted me to leave, and I wondered why. Anyway, he would read something and then laugh and then type, so I asked him what he was doing on his phone, and he said, oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it, and put it down. But as the idiot went to the bathroom, he left his phone open, and I saw who he was texting. Ivy. You know, the girl he wanted to date but who said no. The girl his friend Ricky told me about of how close they were. The girl I don't like. Yeah, that Ivy. I know guys pee fast, so when I went to look, I quickly scrolled up to see how long they'd been texting, and I realized by the timestamps, he texted her first at the beginning of our date. Now, I know they talk a lot. Ergo, they see each other a lot because, grant you, they live in like walking distance of each other. I remember he told me that she walked over to his house to hang out in one of our text messages. I wish I still had it for proof, but it did happen. They live walking distance from each other, so she comes over like all the time. But I think you can wait a few hours to talk to her when you're on a date with your girlfriend. So a few minutes later, I ask him again and say, what are you doing? And this idiot swipes out of his DMs, clicks on a photo, and shows it to me. Now, I know I have glasses and I have terrible eyesight or vision, but if you're sitting next to me and I see you typing and laughing, then quickly slide out of your phone and look to make it look not bad, how can I not notice that? I didn't say anything, and I dropped it, and I never asked about it again because he still did it, but not as much as he did before. And he still paid attention. It just bothered me that you would text her, but not me, because we went through a period of time where he would wait so late to text something, and we ignored each other for a couple of days, and I thought I did something wrong, or I thought something was happening, and I wanted to make sure he was okay. So I'm glad she's on your mind instead of me. Now, I'm good friends with Ricky, so we talk sometimes, not often anymore, but we did a lot before. And there was a time, and bringing up the time before, me and Gene weren't texting, like I would text him, but he wouldn't text me back. Now, I didn't pester him or anything. I wasn't blowing up his phone every 2 seconds like some people do. Like, I would say, "Hi, how are you?" and not get an answer. He would just stop texting in the middle of our conversation and then come back like an hour later and pretend we just started. So I kind of got nervous and was like, "Why isn't he texting me back?" And I wish I still had our thread. I only have one piece that I will show later because it is very important. But I wish I had everything because it's just so annoying. Anyway, I remember texting him about meeting up or something, and he ignores me, but he saw it, and that happened a few times. Like, I would rather you flat out tell me, "No, we can't hang out because you're busy," than just ignore me while I sit and just wonder what the answer is. So I asked Ricky to text him, but Gene doesn't know that I asked. And he doesn't get a response either. Mind you, he hasn't answered either of us in 2 days. Now, I don't fully care because we are all busy and such, but just say, "Hey, I'm busy, talk to you later," you know what I mean with that? So as that happened, I see on Ivy's story that she is at Gene's house, sitting on his bed with him, eating ice cream and watching TV. And that was as that happened, like in that time frame. So you can't answer text messages from your friend or your girlfriend, but you can sit there with another girl having fun. Now remember, I never gave him a problem with her. I don't care that he was hanging out with her. I hung out with my guy friends all the time, but if I text you or anyone, just answer, even if it's just a quick response. So we have a few more dates and things seem cool. We're having fun, and I get to go to an event for me and my mom's job. It was an event we were sponsoring, and it was something that we did every year. So I asked my mom, "Hey, can you get an extra ticket for Gene to come with us?" Cause I told him about it. He said it looked cool and fun, and that he wanted to go. So my mom says that she'll have to pull a few strings, but she can get his ticket. And I tell him, and he's so happy, and I'm happy, and we get to go to our first event together, and I was excited. So the week comes of the event, and I text him the day before to make sure that he's ready, because he has to get up early because we have to go pick him up, and then we have to go down there, and he lives far away from where the place is, and it's already an hour drive to get there, so he has to get up really early. And he says in the text message, "I'm sorry, I can't go. I know your mom worked hard to get me my ticket, but I just don't feel well, and I don't want to be a burden on your guys' event. I'm so sorry." And I respond with, "Okay, well, I hope you feel better." And I warned him my mom was going to be mad, which she was. So I ended up bringing one of my good friends along with me. She watches my videos, so hi. And we had a great time. It was a really fun event, as usual. And can't wait for next year's event for it because we're doing it again next year. But as we were leaving the event, and I'm posting pictures and videos and sending some to him because he said he still wanted to see the event because he's never been, I get a text message from one of my friends who we will name Elizabeth, and it just said, "Check Gene and Ivy's stories." And my phone had bad signal, so I texted her that I can't check, but I'll check when I get home, and she says, "No, you need to look now." And I'm like, "I can't, it's hard enough to text you, how am I supposed to look?" So I finally get good service, and I check Gene's story, and it's a picture of his dog in the grass. So I text Elizabeth and she says to look in the background. So I do, and I see someone's legs. So I say, okay. Then she sends me Ivy's story, and it's the exact same photo except in her perspective. Those legs are hers. And I just get really, really mad in that car and almost screamed so loud. What went through my head first was like, okay, how can I justify this? Because I love this boy at this point, and I know he wouldn't do anything to me, especially knowing what I've been through. But my friend said there's nothing that can justify this. He lied to me, and he's hanging out with another girl. And my head agreed with that. Said, Alyssa, listen to them, they're right. But my heart said, no, Alyssa, this isn't true. You trust him. He trusts you. Just talk to him. And that's exactly what I did. So on our next date, I asked him how he felt after when he was sick during the game. And he said that staying home made him feel good and that he was happy that I was okay with it. I then asked him if he did anything besides rest, and he said he did nothing. So I proceed to show him the pictures from him and Ivy's story, and he stood there silent and dumb, and I asked him why he was hanging out with her when he was sick, and if he felt good to hang out with her, why would he break plans we made weeks in advance to go hang out with her? And he said he didn't know that she was coming over and basically let herself into his house, and I was like, huh? And then he said that she came over without him knowing, but his mom knew and said that it was okay for her to come over, and he felt forced to hanging out with her because he didn't want to say anything. Now, what's sad about that is that I just said, okay, asked him a few more things, and everything checked out. So I forgave him, and he gave me a kiss, and then we continued our date. But when I got home, I started to think about what he said a lot more because something didn't seem right. And I realized something. His mom couldn't have said it was okay for her to come over because she knew that me and Jean were going to that game and was excited about it and knew we had to get up early and all that stuff. So he said he couldn't go that day because his mom agreed to it. So why would she say that it was okay knowing that he was sick and previously had plans with me? Now, I don't say anything else about the topic because by the time we hung out again, it was old and I didn't want to bring up old stuff. I knew the truth and that's all that mattered. But what really hurts is that if this was any other guy and wasn't Gene, I would have cut them out of my life on the frickin' spot. But it was him. And even after that and all the lies that he told me beforehand and stuff I found out later, after that, I still cared and I didn't do anything and continued the relationship when I shouldn't have. My head told me to just break up with him and hope you guys can still be friends. But my heart told me to just stay in the relationship because you have been friends with him for 3 years and I still love him and I wanted to trust him, but I lost a lot of trust that day. So the last thing that happened was our 3-month anniversary was coming up, and it was also the last time we would be hanging out before school started. And I knew it would be hard for us to correlate and make plans after that because we would have to be getting into our schedules, getting into our academics and academies and all and extracurriculars and all that stuff, and it would be hard for us to hang out again. So I wanted to end this summer with a bang. And it did end with a bang in more ways than one. So one thing he would always bring up was his father's boat. Whenever I was over and we're in the pool, we would talk about how he couldn't wait till it was fixed. So his mom came up with the idea for us to go on it for our 3-month anniversary because it was all fixed at that point. And I really loved that idea, and so did Gene. So it was planned. He was going to pick me up, and we were going to go on the boat with his father and enjoy the nice, beautiful water, watch the sunset, and I was hoping I would get my first kiss on that boat with him. Now, at the time, we technically had our first kiss, but I don't count it because of how it happened and the fact it didn't really happen. And I don't think it gets any more perfect than a boat ride. It was all planned so beautifully, and I was looking forward to it. And his mom told me it was all good to go, and I was excited. Then, literally 2 days before our anniversary, like at 10 p.m. at night, I get a text message from Gene. Now I'm going to share this conversation because, one, I don't think I'm really going to post this video, but if I do, he technically did it first, and we will get to that later. But it helps me prove my point on something, and also I feel it's important to share. So our messages start off like this, and again, I have full right to use these. I don't like sharing like personal conversations. I don't feel like it has any place on the internet, but he did it first with somebody. He didn't like share like on the internet, but he shared a personal conversation with somebody that I feel like I can share this, and it involves my point of like explaining how I don't think it was all his fault. So I feel like this is like really good to like share, and even if, and I don't think I'm gonna post it anyway, so it doesn't even really matter, does it? So he said, I heard you wanna hang out Sunday. And I said, no, it was Saturday, why? And he said, well, I don't feel like you should. Now, just reading those 3 sentences, he said, hey, I heard you wanted to hang out Sunday. First off, he knew our anniversary was that Saturday. And second, what does he mean he heard of it? I discussed it with his mom, and his mom said that it was okay, and I talked to him, and he said, yeah, it's great, blah, 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 blah. We've been talking about it for a while. Why is he acting like he just heard about it? Because his mom told me that he knew about it and that I was already set to go. And I said, why? I was really excited to see you because I haven't in 3 weeks, and school is starting next week, and I imagine it will be a lot harder to hang out then. And then next he says, well, the answer isn't easy to say. And I said, what? You're scaring me. And I said that because I knew the second I read that he was gonna break up with me. And why I said you're scaring me is because he knows that when I got broken up during Hurricane Matthew, it was because of a text message. My ex sent me a text message literally as Hurricane Matthew was hitting and the power's about to go out, and blah, 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 sends me a breakup text that like he admitted a bunch of stuff and I dumped him and when he cheated on me, but that's not the point. He knew everything that I went through and how bad it hurt. And he knows how much I like him, so he knows that if he does this, it's really gonna hurt me, and it did. And then he sends me this really long text message that reads, will take me a minute. Allie, your parents were right not to trust me. I'm not loyal, and this isn't because of you. I know that's what everyone says, but just know that you're an amazing girl with wonderful dreams and a great personality to go along with. But I just don't feel like I should keep this buried any longer. I don't want to keep leading you on, but I don't feel like this could work out. I know you're happy with us, but I'm not. I know that sounds selfish because it is, but I figured I should let you know now. I'm sorry. He needs to learn how to do grammar. Oh my God. So there's a lot wrong with just this one message. First off, he called me Allie. Now, for you guys that don't know me in my real life, my name is Alyssa, obviously, but my nickname is Allie because there's a lot of Alyssas not only in my school but in my classes, so I go by Allie. And my close friends call me that, but Gene never called me Allie. Like at the beginning he did, but then he adapted and called me Alyssa, and I said it, and I even told him at one point that I felt like it was more proper for him to call me by my real name, and he agreed, and he started doing that. So Gene knew to call me Alyssa. So if Gene texted me this, why would he start it off with Allie? Second off, what does he mean? I didn't know what he meant by this, of him saying, I know that's what everyone says, because he said, I'm not loyal and this isn't because of you. I know that's what everyone says. What is he, I don't know what Gene is talking about with that. Like, saying that it's what everyone says. Now, the only thing that I can think of that would correlate of why he said that in the text message is when I started my YouTube channel, everyone bullied me for it. Everyone still bullies me for it to this day. And it sucks because, like, I don't understand why you're bullying me. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of resources that all your favorite YouTubers have. I'm just a freaking kid. But anyway, that's a rant for another video. And people not only bullied me for it, I know from him, because he told me, and I've witnessed it, that people make fun of him for dating me, and they say, why are you dating her? She's the double dose girl. And I remember one time I stepped in and I said, leave him alone, blah blah blah, and I made threats. Not my proudest moment, but I did, because I'm like, you can mess with me all you want. Don't bring Gene into this. Don't bring my friends into this. It's just me, bully me. I don't care. I can deal with it. So that's the only thing I can think of with that. If it's not that, I have no idea what he's talking about there. And him saying that I don't want to keep leading you on, but I don't feel like this could work out. When we decided to date, yes, I liked him first. At least I believe I did, because when I asked him how long has he liked me, he said he liked me shortly after the basketball game, and that's around the same time I did, but it didn't get to the part where he wanted to ask me out until a little bit later or a little bit before. I don't remember which one it was. So he technically liked me first, I think, but I'm the one who admitted it first, if you want to go off of that, because he found out through friends that I liked him for a while. So I don't know if he did before or after that. But him saying that he's not happy with us, that it doesn't want to keep leading me on, it doesn't make sense to me. Because he was more into stuff than I was. And I just went along with it because, yeah, I like the kid. I'm gonna, hang out with him. And, I felt comfortable in his room. I didn't, feel uncomfortable, something was gonna happen. I know he wouldn't have done anything, and if he did, I would have broke it off. I felt comfortable. I didn't feel anything weird, and he was more into it than I am, so I just went along with it. And it was on my own accord. I didn't pressure him. He didn't pressure me. It was perfectly fine. We were just watching YouTube videos and hanging out. It's not that bad. And then him saying he's not happy with us, why he put it in quotes, I have no idea, because when he's saying us, we're dating, so I know you're breaking up with me at this point, but him saying us in quotes doesn't make sense for that. And by him saying I know that sounds selfish, because it is, that does not sound like a sentence that Gene would write. If you knew him, does not at all. Now going on to the next thing, I literally say, Gene, this doesn't sound like you, what's up? And how he starts off the paragraph is not something he would do. He said, what's up is I no longer want us to be together. I know this will devastate you, and I'm sorry that this is being done over the phone, but I prefer letting you know now than live in this lie. I know this doesn't sound like me, but this is how I felt for a while. He wouldn't, even though when I said this doesn't sound like you, what's up, he would never ever say what's up is that I no longer he wouldn't start it off like that. That does not sound like the Gene I know. He would never do that whatsoever. And that he was so blunt about it. I know guys are blunt, but he would never ever be like that. And by him saying I'm sorry this is being done over the phone just makes me hurt even more, because I feel like he remembers, and if he didn't, then that just proves he never paid attention fully in conversation, that I got broken up with in a text message, basically. Yeah, I'm the one who said I'm breaking up with you first, but let's be honest, my ex cheated on me, and he done it for 3 months. And when he told me, when I had proof, and I asked him, he just admitted it and said we need to break up. So I said, I'm breaking up with you. So technically he did it first, even though I'm the one who said it. So it just hurts me that he's saying that, because it's taking me back to when not gonna cry, not gonna cry, not gonna cry, not gonna cry. It just reminds me of when I got broken up with during Hurricane Matthew, cause like even though I was with my ex longer than I was with Gene, I felt more love from Gene than I ever did with my ex. Even though we were together for so long, 8 years. Yeah, that might not sound believable if I do post this. That might not sound believable. Kindergarten to 6th grade. Yeah, I know kindergarten doesn't count, but if it lasts from kindergarten to 6th grade when you're entering middle school, then yeah, it counts as a real relationship. Come on. Are people that dumb to not classify that? Like, if we're always like doing that stuff. But like, after I loved Gene more than I did him, because after I found that, I looked back and I realized how dull our relationship was and how I should have noticed the red flags sooner. And I swore myself I would never do this again, when I technically did with Gene. So it just hurts me that he said this is being done over the phone, because it's just taking me back to my other ex. And I feel like he knows that too. If he doesn't, then he's just stupid. And if he does, that's just even more being of a douchebag. And then he said, I know this doesn't sound like me, but I felt this way, but this is how I felt for a while. That's complete BS, because of what he has told me, and the fact that I know this doesn't sound like me. Like, who would say that? Like, what? No one would say that and felt this way for a while. Again, BS. There's no way. And then I said, because I started crying and was mad at this point, I said, that's sure not what you've been telling me for a long time. When we were hanging out, you were more into it than I am, so this doesn't sound right. And then he said, well, it is. That he would never snap at me. Well, not snip at me like that, like saying like going back at me like that. And I do agree with my past self with this, even though this is only being filmed like maybe a month or two later. I don't remember, because I don't really care anymore. I agree with my past self. There's like what? And I said, you're really doing this after everything I told you and meant after almost 3 years of friendship. And then he said, I understand that this is a horrible way to do this. I understand that this makes you unhappy. I understand what we both have in friendship and love. And I know me ending it like this will likely end up in you and your family never forgiving me. I'll ask you to try and understand, but I know that this isn't easy. So again, I'm sorry. Now with that, he still said, like, I know this is a horrible way to do this. And if you knew that, then when I was talking to you the last time, because again, I brought up something I'm going to talk about next, because I want to make Ivy's section just about her. I don't want to bring Jean up in anything. The last time I saw Jean before this was back when I was telling him about what happened with Ivy and my friend, because I did not like what she said to her, and he admitted to me all the stuff, and I'm like, well, why would you do that? And I was like snipping at him a little bit, but because I didn't understand. So we're going to get into that next. But like, if you were going to do it, why didn't you do it to me there, to my face? I'd rather it be done to my face than over the phone. Anyone would. Yeah, you're going to be depressed either way, but doing it over the phone is not only chicken, in my opinion. It means that there's something else going on. With my other ex, I knew what was going on. With Jean, I have no idea, and I feel like he didn't even send all these messages to me. We'll get into that in a minute. And then I said, well, of course it's horrible for me. It would be for everyone, especially what I have gone, especially after what I've gone through. I can't believe you're doing this. This is not the Jean I know and love. And he said, I know it's not. Who would say that? And I said, if you had all these feelings, why did you even go out with me in the frickin' first place? Or at least tell me when I was talking to you last, which is bringing up to Hangar 15 when we went. And then he said, I have no perfect reason for that, but I didn't want to build this up any longer. You had no perfect reason to. He literally said earlier that he's felt this way for a while and didn't want to lead me on. You led me on an extra 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Phone, shut up. You led me on an extra 2 to 3 weeks. You didn't want to lead me, that doesn't make any sense to me. You led me on an extra 2 to 3 weeks when you said you didn't want to build it up any longer, and you said, and you say I have no perfect reason. You did. And I said, it already has. You might not see it, but I do. And he said, so you didn't mean anything you said to me. And then that was the end of the conversation. And I didn't text him anymore about the situation. I have said some things, but quickly unsended them, and then I haven't texted him again and since that. So that's the end of that. So those are the text messages that we had as we broke up. And God, just reflecting on it, like a month later, basically, maybe month and a half, I don't know, I haven't been keeping track of the days since we last sent those messages. It just hurts, cause I don't believe Gene really sent those messages, and if he did, then I guess I didn't know him as well as I thought I did, and I guess he didn't tell me everything about himself, obviously. So where Ivy comes into this, I believe that she did one of a couple of things. One, she either took Gene's phone and sent the messages herself. Two, she confessed her love to Gene and told him to break up with me so they could be together. Or three, he just couldn't deal with being with me and still loving Ivy, so he broke up with me to have some sort of chance with her and say oh, I'm single, if you want to date me, I'm here. And the fourth choice is that he just simply wanted to break up with me. I don't think it's the last one. I think it's one of the latters, but I'll never know for sure. And I've heard from some people that he broke up with me because he still loves me. And the only reason that they say that is because since we're going to different high schools, then we won't be able to really see each other that much and hang out a lot. So he felt that because he still loves me and wants to be with me, he felt that breaking up was the better option because he doesn't want me to be in a relationship where I don't even get to see the person that often. And I'm like, if that's true, then that's stupid, because there's such thing as weekends, there's such thing as making plans in advance, there's such thing as the summer break, there's such thing as the winter break, spring break, regular off days, holidays. There's days that we can plan around, and I'm sure, because I know he said he wanted to try out from some sport teams, he knows I'm trying out for cheerleading. I think we're gonna see each other quite a lot for that, and I'm sure, because I'm into theater and all that, I'm sure he would be coming to my concerts. We would see each other. If that's true, if what his friends told me was true, then that's really stupid. And oh my God, I can't believe he actually said that. If that is true, I don't know. I can't vouch for it. I don't talk to Gene anymore, so I can't get his opinion on it. But I don't know with that one. Now, with Ivy, so I have my best friend. I have a couple of best friends, but this one in particular, I've known for years, and what should we name her? Let's call her Lucy. So Lucy's been my friend for so long. And I asked her about using her real name in this video if I do post it. I told her I'm probably not going to, but if I do, would it be okay for me to use her real name? She said sure, but if I do post it, I don't want everyone filing at her, and I don't want him or her to figure out anything, even though they probably know the story, if they are watching this. So I'm just going to change her name. So thanks for the permission, but changing it. So me and Lucy been friends forever. We've known each other since elementary school. And there was a time where I thought that Jean had cheated on me with Ivy because of what she was posting. He stuck posting stuff after I confronted him the last two times, but didn't stop her. She posted a couple of things revolving around Jean and Jean's dog. So she knows I follow her. She knows I see his story, and I don't follow her anymore. So can't find her through me. If you want to try to find her social media, don't follow her anymore. And I got really, really upset because I knew it wasn't true. I knew he didn't cheat on me, but with everything that my mom had said, with everything that my friends have said, it just started to sink in, and I just started punching my punching bag and getting really upset that I texted four of my friends, one of them being Lucy, because I don't like telling people my feelings, but to certain people I kind of can, and she's one of them. So I texted her, and she decided to text Jean and tell him to say, hey, you need to check up on Alyssa. You haven't texted her in a while. She's really upset. You might want to explain things to her, blah, 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 blah. And they had their conversation. It was a pretty civil conversation, because after the conversation, she FaceTimed me to keep me company and all that, and told me what she said. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. I can't believe she did that for me. I didn't tell her to do that. And it showed that she actually cared about me. Jean was pretty civil in the conversation. There was nothing really bad about it. But out of the blue, as we're FaceTiming, she gets a text message from somebody. And guess who it is? Ivy. And the first words that she typed, the first message that she sent was, leave Jean alone. He doesn't want to talk to you. He doesn't even know you. He doesn't like you. Leave my boyfriend alone. Now, the boyfriend part, she said later. I don't know if she said it in that first text message. I believe that she did. I am 99.9% sure she said the boyfriend line in that, but I know she said it later in the conversation, so it was there. But I'm 99% sure she said it in the first box with that, leave Jean alone. And she reads it to me. She sends me her profile so I can, follow along in the conversation. And I'm like, she did not just say that. There's no way that she just said that. And, Lucy's going on and explaining how she was just asking questions. She was just trying to make sure that her friend was okay. And Ivy's going at her, saying, all this mean stuff about her. And, saying, that Jean doesn't even care about me, Alyssa, me. That he doesn't even love me, he was only dating her to make me jealous, and it worked, we're together, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need this girl's address, I'm gonna need her number, I'm gonna be needing to say some stuff, because there's about to be a fight happening. Because I wanted to hurt her so bad after that. I saw the messages, I was like, now I'm gonna admit to myself, I am exaggerating a little bit, but I don't remember the exact messages off the top of my head because I don't have a photographic memory, and Lucy doesn't have the messages anymore, otherwise I would read them word for word for you. But what I'm saying is basically along the lines of the conversation. And then Lucy texts Jean, and then I talked to Jean later, and I said, when Lucy texted you, did you send it to Ivy, or did Ivy look on your phone or something? And he said, no, I showed it to her. She was next to me as that conversation was happening. So first off, he admitted another time where he knew that I was upset about all of that, and he tells me that he was hanging out with her, so that just made me feel even worse. And two, he showed a private conversation to somebody that didn't involve her. Yeah, Lucy mentioned her, and when I said why did you show it to her, he said, why wouldn't I? She was talking about her. What? So when I mention Rio or someone else in our text message conversation, you show it to them to show what I've said? Or do you think I do that? Do you just do that with everyone? Is that a normal thing? No, you don't do that. Unless you're in a court of law or the police are wanting to search your phone, you don't show anyone your private messages. What they say to you is to you. Unless they say show it to this person or they know about it, don't show it. That's stupid. That just makes me so mad. Because Lucy was trying to make me feel better. I told her she didn't have to do that. And she said, no, Jean needs to know all that. And I said, thank you. And she was just asking questions to Jean to like help. Because she cared about me and how I was feeling. And then Jean shows her the conversation and makes her snip at Lucy. And no, she can snip at me if she wants to by saying like I came after a man when you had your chance with him and I took it. Like, and what's sad is I think they're dating now. I don't know. Don't quote me on it, self. I don't think that they are, but I've seen a couple of posts lately that act like they are. So she got her wish, and if she wants to be with him, then I wish her the best. And I wish him the best for trying to make other girlfriends, because I bet she's going to be one of those girls that's like, you can only hang out with me, blah, 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 blah. And I hate girls like that. So you don't come after my friends with that. What Lucy did was trying to help. What Jean did was stupid and showing her the conversation and acting like an idiot. And she shouldn't have jumped into something that didn't involve her and didn't need her input in the conversation. Because she just inserted herself into something that wasn't her business and that she never needed to know about. What Lucy was doing to help me and to better it, because she knew how much I love Jean and all that. So she was trying to help, and what he did was made it worse, and now I hate her even more than I did before. So great job with that. So I think that's everything that involves. It is now, I believe, a month later, and it feels so good to get to make this video and put it out there. I needed it. I needed this so much. I finally feel free now. It just feels so good to put this out there, even if it doesn't go on YouTube and it's just for me, like what this video was intended for in the first place. But if I decide to change my mind, then I hope you guys enjoyed it. One thing I really want to know though is what he told his mom, because his mom, I love his mom and his dad. They are the best. I thought of them as a second pair of mom and dad, because they treated me nice, they were respectful, they loved me, and thought I was a good fit for their son. And I still text with his mom. I haven't texted her since she told me that everything was set to go, but I have texted her outside of like me and Jean hanging out. So I'm sure maybe if things go good, we'll still text. But I just wonder what he told his parents, because there's no way he was straight up and honest and said, hey, I just dumped Alyssa over the phone literally 2 days before our 3-month anniversary. There's no way. His mom would have killed him. So I wonder what lies, like if he told me lies, and if he lied to Ivy in some way, what lies did he tell his mom and dad? Because that's just the one thing I'm really curious about. Other than that, I don't really care anymore, and I don't think I'll ever get the answer to it. And there's so much to it with that, with Ivy and all them, but this is just the surface that really matters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on the next dose. I love you. Bye. Well, there you go. That is the video of me explaining what happened with me and my ex and Ivy as I was looking back at the recording. It's just rewatching it and editing it. It's just been so hard, and I hope you guys like learn something from it, and if you don't, I hope it was good content, because it took me a long time to edit with how many mess ups there were. And you guys, I'm sorry if the editing seemed jumpy, like I said at the beginning, but I warned you. So this video was like, I didn't even really scratch the surface. There was a lot of other things that I didn't say, but I felt like this was like the core stuff, and there was just like little things. I mostly said what I needed to say. So I feel like I fulfilled my purpose for that video, and it was so old. Oh my god. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you'll get a notification every time I upload a video, old or new. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media. My Instagram is at AlyssaJade_TV, and my Twitter is at Ali_network. And hopefully this video helped you, and if it didn't, made you laugh at my embarrassment. But I did mean everything I said in it about her, about him. Like, you don't do that to somebody. That really hurts when you do that. Because what if I wasn't the way I am? What if I wasn't thick-skinned, and what if I couldn't handle it? Like, you don't say that to someone's current girlfriend. You don't threaten them, and you don't tell their friends to stop helping, because what if you were in my shoes and I was bullying you and said stay away from him, blah 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 blah. You wouldn't like it either. So I still can't figure out what she did and all that. So, and I should have broken up with him. I still say to this day I should have broken up with him sooner and just like tried to stay friends, but I really cared about him, so I didn't. Like I said in the video a lot of times, my head said to break up with him, but my heart said not to. So learn from my mistakes. I love you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope you guys enjoyed my pain. So I love you guys. You are my showstoppers, and I will see you in the next one. That is a wrap. Bye.